Bonnethead Shark on a Water Bottle acrylic painting tutorial by Hotpinkzebrapolish. Hi everyone, in today's video I'm going to be showing you how I painted this water bottle that was just a plain blue water bottle, like a reusable one, not just a throwaway water bottle. And so I'm going to be showing you how I painted all kinds of sea life around it because the blue just reminded me of the ocean, and so I thought that would be perfect. So I'm going to be using some glitter and some nail products in there, as well as some multi-surface paint. So I hope you like this video, and don't forget to click subscribe to see my future videos as well. So this is the water bottle that I'm using. It is from Amazon. It's actually it's a pretty reasonable deal, and there's links in the description box below, and it's BPA free. It's it's a pretty simple thing, and it's really smooth, which makes it wonderful to paint on. And so yeah, the water bottle itself is pretty much what you'd expect. It's got a nice little thing to pull up to get the water spout on, and it's got a silicone FDA approved little nozzle to drink from, or you can get rid of that if it just pulls off to wash it or other things like that. So, but that's the water bottle, and like I said, it's a reasonable price off Amazon, just anything. And the same steps could be followed to paint a little Bonnethead shark anywhere. And then also just a little carabiner that is orange, so I also incorporated some orange into the design. And so there's just, I'm gonna get rid of that. And I also got rid of the little BPA free sticker, which I love that it's BPA free. I hate that little sticker though, to be frank, because it took me forever to get rid of it, especially since I tried very carefully to get rid of it without scratching the water bottle or breaking a nail. But it works. So anyways, that is the water bottle. Like I said, nice and smooth, easy to paint on. So now with white multi-surface paint, I'm going to be painting on said water bottle. And I'm going to start by painting my Bonnethead shark with just outlines. So or not really outlines, but like the base shape. So almost like if you're doing his shadow. So just with white, blocking out where I want him to be. And this little Bonnethead, I actually took photos of him at an aquarium. So I felt really close and connected to him. It was quite a wonderful experience. I love sea life and everything. If you've noticed, especially like on my other channel, I've got a couple different sea-based videos and things that I've done. So I originally was planning on doing a little sea turtle on this water bottle, and then when I had these photos I just took of the Bonnethead, I thought that that would be much better because the photos I took instead of just photos I find on the internet. I don't know. I hope you like it, and I think he's really cute. A lot of times I personally have a slight fear of sharks. Big ones. I love little sharks. Big ones, though, I don't know. Deep ocean seems quite scary to me. Uncharted waters, literally. So anyways, I liked this little Bonnethead, so I figured that was appropriate. And so then I'm just going to also add a block out on the bottom of just the areas where I'm going to put the coral in a moment. So I'm just going to fill that in, and make sure that you add a couple coats of this white paint. As you can see, it was really streaky the first time, and that's going to make your color paint, once you start adding all the details, apply so much smoother. Plus it'll look better because you can see through the water bottle. So you can see the paint that's on the other side of it, which makes all these areas just look a little bit cleaner if you have a nice blackout area underneath them. So that's what I'm doing now. And this is the second coat, just making sure that's applied nice and evenly. It's better to do a couple thin coats instead of trying to do everything in one thick coat, especially with this multi-surface paint, because it takes so long to dry. Compared to just regular acrylic paint or craft paint, it takes probably 4 to 5 times longer to dry, I would say. And so if you do a couple thin coats, it's just going to have a much better experience for you than if you try to do it all in one thick coat. And it also is harder to tell if it is dry because it dries either satin or glossy. And so it's a little bit different experience to paint with, and you definitely have to get used to it, but it's not that much different, so you shouldn't have too much trouble. So now I'm going to be adding the details to my little sharky. So I'm just going to be adding a little bit more of that white paint and then blending in some black paint, just going through and blending it as I go, which, you're not really ever supposed to do this. This is not a proper technique of painting, but it's a way that I use quite often. I feel like I have a really nice control over the depth and the color of my gradations. So if you want to mix your paint separate and then apply it, go ahead. I kind of like to mix it on the surface in certain circumstances, and this is one of them. So just, do what you will. This is how I did it. And I'm going through and looking at the photo and painting it with the darker shades where he was darker, lighter where he's lighter, and all of that good stuff. And so, like I said, this paint is a little bit different to work with. And if you don't have any multi-surface paint, I can tell you where to find it. It's any craft store or Walmart or any place that has acrylic paint, I would say, is going to have this multi-surface paint, and it's a little bit hard to identify it on the bottle. I know some brands say that they're glossy in really big letters and then really small underneath it says multi-surface. Some have like a little wine glass symbol to show that you can paint on glass, and some say indoor outdoor, so then you have to read on the back of them to see what materials it says that they're safe for. And so a real true multi-surface paint will say that it's good on basically any surface, and that you can put it in the dishwasher, and that you can stick it outside, inside, it's all safe. And the other thing with that multi-surface paint is, I know I just said that you can stick it in the dishwasher, and that is true, but you have to make sure that the paint is cured. And so to cure it, there's two methods. It's either waiting approximately 28 days, depending on the brand, that varies slightly, but it's all around that amount, or sticking it in a really low temp oven for a couple hours or an hour. Now, you cannot stick this water bottle in the oven, so I was looking on it and I couldn't find if it was dishwasher safe or not. If you do decide to dishwasher it, it's top rack dishwasher safe with the paint on it after 28 days, or whatever the paint says that that's good for. If it's safe in the dishwasher, like I said, I'm not sure if it is, and I did try to look at it, I couldn't see. But if you have a different water bottle, same thing, 28 days since you can't stick it in the oven. So just keep that in mind when you're doing this, that if you do intend to put it in a dishwasher, you have to wait just a little while for that paint to be set. Otherwise, it's just going to remove it in the dishwasher, which is such a waste because you spent all this time working on this. So now I'm adding all of his fins. We've got dorsal fins and pectoral fins and all of those beautiful things, and pelvic fins, all of those. And as you can see, it's all black and white, but it's various gradations, so you really can see all of these little parts. And then with just diluted black, I also added a shadow on his tummy a little bit, and then I also just did very slight little wrinkles on his dorsal fin, and then a couple little shadows around where his gills will be, and I'll add a little bit more to those in a moment. So I'm just going to be adding that around there, blending, now going over his face. And if you are wondering why I'm painting a bonnethead shark and my video title says a hammerhead shark, a bonnethead shark is the smallest species of hammerhead. So it is a hammerhead, it's a little one, and I figured I'd be proper in actually what I'm saying, because bonnethead sharks, their head shape is slightly different than most other hammerheads, so that is, just something to look at. And so now I'm going to be adding some more color to his tummy. And a couple minutes ago, you might have seen that I added just a line for where his mouth will be. I'll go through, and right now I'm going to be re-putting that in. That was just to like a space holder, so I knew where that was going to be. And now I'm actually going through and defining that, adding his eyes, and doing the other things with black like that. And so then I'm going to add 2 little holes for nostrils. And then I'm going to take and add little white lines for his teeth. Not too much teeth there, just, little tiny dashes in there. And then I'm going to go through and add the little bits of black on the gills to really deepen those lines. And then I'm going to take and add more white highlights all over, just to really brighten the areas on the fins that are getting the most reflection from the light going through. And just anywhere that needs to be defined a little bit more, you can do that with white or black. So now in the background of the coral area down below, I'm going to first just sponge on some brown, and then while that brown is wet, I'm going to be adding some green and some white, and then a little bit of black as well. So just sponging it on, really nothing too specific, no patterns that I'm following, just wherever I feel that it will look good. I'm adding a couple colors into it. You can also, I used green, but there's really no specific reason for the green. You could blend in some blue maybe, or some yellow. I don't know, for some reason I'm thinking yellow, green, or blue, but do whatever you want. It's your water bottle. So then I'm going to be adding my coral, and I did that in 3 layers, starting with purple. And so for the first one I did a fan coral, which is probably my favorite to look at, but least favorite to paint. And so you start with just like a tree, and then between the branches of the tree add a whole bunch of little tiny intersecting lines that remind me of the vein of a leaf. And so just keep going through and adding them. Do it quickly and try not to overthink it, which I know saying not to overthink something is the perfect recipe to overthink something, at least for me. So just try to let the paintbrush do what it wants and not control it too much. It's hard to explain how to do this. Just, add a whole bunch of little lines and then it'll work out. And then I'm going to be highlighting it with diluted white paint on all of those major branches that I painted in the beginning, as well as that little stump. And now I'm going to be adding another piece of coral. This one is going to be a tube coral, and this is from the side view. So just add a whole bunch of long rectangles, or not rectangles, triangles, with the point to the same area in the bottom. Just like that, and then add a little stump just like with the other one, and then highlight one edge of each piece of those tubes, or each tube. So just highlight one edge of it as well as the rim. So it's got that hole in the center, so just add those just like that. And I'm blending in some white here. I know that sometimes I use diluted white paint, sometimes I just blended it into the wet purple. It depended on how wet my purple paint was and how quick I was painting, so there's where the difference is there. So now I'm going to be painting a brain coral, and so I'm just going to add another, that's kind of a random blob there. And then with some light purple paint, I'm going to be adding in just like the little segments of the brain. And this is another time where I'm going to say try not to overthink it. Just kind of make all sorts of intersecting C shapes, and it should hopefully work out pretty well. And just keep adding those in. So like I said, I'm doing 3 layers. So the first one was purple, and I did 2 of each of these kinds of coral. And then this one is going to be a tube from the top view. And so after I did all of these, I did 2 of each in purple. Then I went through and added some that were green, and then after that, some that were orange. So I did secondary colors for my corals, and I just fiddled it in and kept adding them until I felt that there was enough of them on there that it didn't seem like it was too much background, too much of that browns. And as you can see, it was quite full. So then I'm going to take some purple glitter that is mixed in with some gel top coat and highlight one edge of the upright or the side view tubes. And I also added orange glitter to the orange ones and green glitter to the green ones. And this is where the gel comes in handy and where the nail art products are involved. And after that is cured, you are all set. And I would recommend using a no-wipe top coat so you don't have to worry about cleaning off that tacky layer, especially when you're dealing with that acrylic paint. It's probably a wise idea. So I hope you like this. And like I said, the water bottle is there's a link to it in the description box below. So if you're interested in finding a new bottle, check that out, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!